I think where we are is still, relatively speaking, in the very early stages, but at a very interesting, I don't dare say inflection point. There is an incredible amount of interest from traditional finance institutions in digitalization and digital assets right now. And I think there's a lot of momentum behind what's going on in this space. For us at Moody's, we've been rating digital bonds as early as 2017. And I think from 2017 up to maybe 2022, it was very, very small issuances in terms of volume. In 23, we saw total global volume increase to about 4.5 billion. And then, 2024 is about 3.7 or something. And then, we're on track for about 2.7, I think, so far this year. So, relatively speaking, that's small compared to traditional bond markets, but I think we are beginning to see that issuers are moving beyond kind of small proof of concept type of transactions and looking at transactions that show how this infrastructure is truly scalable and can support regular bond issuance. So obviously, good example of that might be the Hong Kong dollar digital green bond that's out right now, and we have a rating for that. And so I think from our perspective, the trend is likely to continue in a very constructive way. It's going to be driven first and foremost by, obviously, the efficiencies that digitalization can bring for both issuers and investors as sort of an end-to-end solution on the issuance process and settlement as well. We're also seeing very strong signs of regulatory support. And in particular, when you talk about Asia, it really stands out, I think. Singapore, Hong Kong being jurisdictions where regulators have really helped create an ecosystem for digital bonds, including the settlement end of the chain that's been very supportive for growth. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the interest among traditional institutions is rapidly growing, and I think we shouldn't ignore the fact that the passage of the Genius Act in the U.S. is doing a lot to fuel interest there. And it's significant because up to now, most of the issuance that we've seen in digital bonds has been from issuers in Europe and Asia, given the regulatory advances in those regions. But I think with the U.S., in a way, now getting into the game and starting to look at regulating digital assets and digital finance, that will create a lot of momentum going forward.